Hey there guys, and welcome back to the channel. As always, thanks so much for clicking on this video and joining me here. So in this video, we're going to be doing a review for the Until Dawn movie based on the popular hit video game. I went and saw it yesterday, got my ticket right there from Odeon, my local Odeon, where I went to see it. Did I enjoy the film? Yes and no. I had a great time with some parts of it, like the gory kills, the monster design, the production, the sets, everything like that was pretty well done. But I went away from the movie with that feeling, that really kind of horrible feeling where I felt I had a good time, but I felt it just there was something missing. There was something that just didn't quite cross over the line from it being just another horror movie to it being something great. And unfortunately, I felt that kind of lack of something special, that special ingredient was just missing. And it's kind of disappointing when a movie just kind of misses the mark. Would I recommend this film? I would, if you've got nothing else to do and you've got maybe a cinema pass and you've got some friends and some spare time, then go and check it out. But other than that, I would recommend going to see Sinners or something with a bit more oomph behind this movie. But anyway, regardless of all of that, let's jump into the good, the bad, and the mixed. So starting off here from the good, we have some really gory kills in this movie. When all else is said and done, the thing that I'm going to take away from this movie is the gory kills. It doesn't hold back. I mean, it shows blood, it shows guts, it shows different, like, little parts of body horror in there as well. So it's a bit of a mix from different genres. Body horror, kind of gruesome kills. We have a maniac running around with a pickaxe, kind of chopping limbs off and stuff. And you get some great gory kills, if nothing else. So if you're a horror fan and that's what you're looking for, then parts of this movie will deliver on that aspect for you. So, moving on to the next, we have fast-paced horror action. So we have a lot of running scenes, a lot of hiding, a lot of jump scares. Unfortunately, it relies too much on the cliche of jump scares in this movie. It doesn't build the tension all that much, well, at least it didn't feel like it did for me. And we kind of resort back to the kind of the tropes, the cliche of, you know, someone in a dark room and then they flick a light on and something jumps out of the dark, or, you know, that kind of thing that we've seen in countless kind of B-grade horror films. Does it do it well, even though it's using cliches? Yeah, it does to a point. There are some genuinely good jump scares, but it's something that we've seen time and time again, and I expected a little bit more out of this movie, building tension, a little bit more kind of nuance with the horror aspects, and unfortunately it just doesn't deliver on that kind of something special in that degree, which is a shame because it could have been something great. So moving on to this next, the solid production design. I will say the sets are pretty damn good. It does invoke kind of a horror atmosphere, the tone, the vibe, and everything that it does to that degree is done pretty well. Like the makeup on the characters, the creature designs, stuff like that is done pretty well, and it's really is good. And I feel that that's something that horror fans will take away from this movie as well. There's no kind of special monster in here that kind of raises that kind of element, though. I mean, yeah, there's some great, practical effects for the monsters and things like that. But there's nothing that you can really latch onto and say, that was incredible, that's something I'm going to remember in years to come. It's all kind of stuff we've just seen before, and we've seen it done better in other films, which is unfortunate. But it's still not bad, but it's not quite delivering that extra something that, movie fans are going to want. So, and also, the last thing in the good section here, I will say, fun for horror fans. So it is fun, guys. That's something you'll take away from it as well. It's a fun movie. If anything else, I mean, the dialogue's not the best. I mean, we're not talking about Oscar caliber performances here, but the movie's fun. Turn your brain off. Don't think about the logic. Don't think about anything else. Just watch it for what it is, a simple, throwaway, B-grade horror movie with some great gory kills and some great creature designs, and that's kind of what we take away from it. And if you go into this movie expecting that, then I think that's going to fulfill what you're looking for, and I think people will be happy on that regard. But like I say, it just feels like it just doesn't cross the line into being something, something is missing, and it's hard to put your hands on it. So we're going to cross over into the bad now. So the weak characters. So this is something a lot of people are complaining about online when they're talking about this film, that the unlikable characters. A lot of people have been complaining about this. There's not one character here that you can really latch onto and, you want to root for, or you want to see them survive, or you want to see them do something awesome in the movie. Every single person, when they're talking, you're like, this person's a douchebag, this person's an idiot. There's not one person that you kind of root for. Normally in these kind of horror movies, there's like a final girl, if you like, where the character's kind of like, we're kind of rooting for that character, but none of that seems to be here, unfortunately. So the messy lore as well. So we have like we have time jumps, we have supernatural elements, the history of the town that's featured in the actual movie itself. It's all confusing and a bit poorly explained, and it can be very, very hard to understand kind of what's going on. We have this kind of hourglass that turns, and it's got the sands of the time running out when people are being killed. And if you're not familiar with the game, the lore of the game, or you haven't played the game, going into this movie fresh, as a fresh person to this IP, you may be a little bit lost and a little bit confused. And I could see people around me kind of trying to figure out what was going on. And even myself, as someone who's watched the games, I haven't played them, but I've watched walkthroughs on YouTube. Even I found myself at times, I was kind of like, what exactly is going on here? How does this work? The internal logic doesn't seem consistent here. But yeah, so moving on next, the over-reliance on jump scares, which we've kind of already talked about. Just going back to that cliche, the old trope of just having things jumping out of the dark. That's what a lot of lower budget horror movies do, because if they can't build tension, if they don't have decent writing, they just fall back on the old jump scares. I mean, anybody could do that. Give me a camera phone and, you know, a dark room and put someone in a costume. I can make an effective jump scare. It's an easy thing to do. And I think a lot of people are just kind of bored of that kind of, you know, just kind of pointless jump scares. And then we have disappointing the game fans as well. This movie does stray quite far from the lore of the actual games. I mean, the setting is completely different. Instead of it being a ski lodge, kind of like up on a mountain with snowy atmosphere, this is in like a haunted house, so it's very different to that aspect. Also, the premonition aspect of it, where you kind of see things ahead of time and you try to prevent people dying with different decisions. That wasn't really played on as much as it should have been. That was missing. That was kind of like absent from the movie. This kind of, you pick up like a tarot card and it shows you like a scene of what's going to happen in the future of someone dying, and then you have to try and make decisions to prevent that person from dying. That's an aspect they really could have played on in this movie, but that didn't seem to be there. They didn't really touch on it that much, and that was one of the really compelling things about the game that they missed out here, and it's a shame, man, because that was kind of the heart and the soul of the game, and I felt like it just wasn't there, and I was disappointed to that aspect as someone who liked the games. So next we're going to move on to the mixed. So the time loop concept, the Groundhog Day style kind of resetting back to the evening. You would think that with every reset back to the beginning of the evening, when they get killed and they reset back to the beginning of the evening to go through it again, you would think they would make smarter decisions every time they die and reset back to the evening. But it seems that the decisions that they make every time they die, they make dumber and dumber decisions. It doesn't make any sense to me. I'm just like, really? You don't learn anything from the mistakes that you've made? And it's just kind of crazy. They just get dumber and dumber as it goes on. So, the director, what's his name? David F. Sandberg. I am relying on some notes here, so just bear with me, guys, because there's a lot to get through here. David F. Sandberg, he does bring the energy, and he does bring some pretty good imagery, production design, set creatures, kind of what we've talked about, the set and the creatures, I should say, sorry. But the weak script between the characters, I don't feel like the chemistry is all that good. The characters are unlikable, like we've already talked about. So you have the juxtaposition against good set designs and good creatures, and the creepy atmosphere, but then you have unlikable characters with weak dialogue, so they kind of really conflict with each other, and it kind of pulls the movie apart to some degree. The cast performances, there's a lot of cheesy dialogue, which you kind of like roll your eyes at. We've seen it all before. The girl boss, we have the boyfriend who's the douchebag, kind of these stereotypical teen college people who fall into these tropes of being these typical, typical kind of slasher villains, if you like. We've seen it time and time again, but done better as always. That's kind of the theme of this review. We've seen it before, but we've seen it done better in other movies. So the tone and the humor. The movie aims for a horror comedy, kind of like Cabin in the Woods, but the humor is a bit hit and miss. Sometimes they say something, and then people in the cinema are kind of looking at each other like, was that meant to be a joke? Or was that meant to be serious? Like, it's hard to tell because it wasn't really funny, but it wasn't really serious at the same time, so we don't really know. But, yeah, there's one more thing I want to add to the negative as well. I mean, the thing is, they tried to do so many different horror genres, but kind of smash it into one film. So, like, 1 minute we're being chased by a Wendigo, then the next minute there's, like, a witch that's kind of talking to one of the... a witch that's talking to one of the characters. Then the next minute, we've got this, like, gigantic troll walking through the woods as they're trying to escape in their car. And there's just, like, all these different kind of horror genres, but they're so quick and they're so quickly paced. We don't have any time to let each scene breathe. It's like, we do this scene with the witch, then we quickly move on to the Wendigo, then we quickly move on to the zombie, quickly move on to the maniac with the pickaxe. And it's like, films that are just really quick, and it's like quick cuts between them, and it's kind of like it doesn't let it breathe, it doesn't let you kind of marinate on what's just happened, and that's kind of a negative for me. But anyway, so Until Dawn, it's a chaotic kind of horror roller coaster of kind of different genres of horror kind of mashed together. It's very quick pacing, the characters are unlikable, but the actual creatures are great, the production design is great, some of the dialogue is cheesy as hell. But guys, like I say, if you're a fan of the horror franchise, you will get some enjoyment out of this. The kills are bloody, gory, and there is one legit moment in this movie where someone drinks a glass of water. I'm not going to say what happens, but they drink a glass of water and something happens, and I literally recoiled in my seat and I was like, what the fuck just happened? Like, if you see the movie, you'll know exactly what scene I'm talking about. But it caught me off guard, and there was that one moment in the movie where I was just like, oh my god, I can't believe that just happened. But guys, yeah, I mean, it's a great throwaway little movie if you've got nothing else to do and, you know, you enjoy horror. I think you will take some enjoyment for it, but don't expect it to be the best thing ever. We've seen countless films do things better than this film has. It's just full of tropes, unlikable characters, but some good production, some good creature designs. So I think you will get some enjoyment out of it if you do like these kind of B-grade horror movies. But that's kind of all I have to say about it, guys. I may have missed out some things. If I have, jump down in the comment section, let me know if I missed out on anything that you think is important that we can add to this review. As always, guys, thank you so much for being here and joining me. Oh yeah, before we go, actually, let me give my score. I forgot to do that almost. I don't do many reviews on the channel. Let me give my score. So I'm going to give this movie, I'm going to give it a 6 out of 10. 5 being an average, obviously 10 being incredible. 5, so it just peaks over average for me. And the reason for that is because of the creature designs and the production and the tone and atmosphere. That's the reason why it just peaks over to being just above average for me. And also the time reset concept is interesting, but they don't do enough with it to kind of elevate the material up to like a 7, 8, or 9 kind of rating. But yeah, so I would say just over average, but not much, sort of around 6 out of 10 for me. But guys, thank you so much for being here. Jump into the comment section. Have you seen this movie? What did you think of it? Did you agree with the points that I made? Or did you completely disagree and think it was a masterpiece? Whatever your thoughts are, let me know down below, guys. As always, thank you so much for being here. Make sure you hit the like button and become a subscriber if you haven't done so already. It goes a long way to supporting the content, so I really, really appreciate that. And as always, I will see you in the next video.